In the sweltering, dust-choked streets of Dhaka, Bangladesh, the air itself seems heavy with moisture and menace. This is the world into which Sam Hargrave thrusts us in his 2020 directorial debut, Extraction. It is not merely an action movie, it is a kinetic, visceral descent into a modern underworld where life is cheap, loyalty is purchased, and redemption is the most expensive commodity of all. To understand Extraction is to look past the gunfire and the explosions, though they are magnificent in their choreography, and see the story of a man who is already dead, searching for a grave that will accept him, only to find a reason to breathe again in the most unlikely of places. The film operates on a frequency of high-octane despair, painting a portrait of violence that is as exhausting as it is exhilarating. At the center of this chaos stands Tyler Rake, portrayed with a brooding, physical intensity by Chris Hemsworth. Rake is not your typical glittering Hollywood hero. When we first meet him, he is a husk of a man, a mercenary living in the Australian outback, medicating his trauma with alcohol and pills, engaging in death-defying leaps off cliffs not for the thrill, but perhaps to test if gravity still deems him worthy of existence. He is a man defined by a singular, crushing absence, the death of his young son. This tragedy has hollowed him out, turning him into a perfect weapon. A weapon has no fear of death because a weapon has no life to lose. Hemsworth sheds the divine armor of Thor to inhabit a character who is bruised, dirty, and profoundly human in his brokenness. His physicality here is not about looking good, it is about survival. You feel every punch he takes, every rib that cracks, and every ounce of exhaustion that drags at his limbs. The narrative engine is ignited by a kidnapping in the murky interplay of drug lords across the Indian subcontinent. Ovi Mahajan, the teenage son of an incarcerated Indian drug baron, is snatched from a club by rival police officers working for Amir Asif, the sprawling, spider-like crime lord of Dhaka. Asif is a villain of terrifying reach. The city is his body, the streets his veins, and the children his eyes and ears. Ovi is merely a pawn in a game of ego between two absent fathers, a piece of meat to be bartered or butchered. When Rake is hired by Nick Khan, his handler and perhaps his only friend, to extract the boy, it is framed as a suicide mission. The pay is irrelevant to Rake. The impossibility of the task is the allure. If he dies, he finally gets the peace he craves. If he succeeds, well, that is a bridge to cross when he gets there. The extraction itself begins with a surgical precision that quickly devolves into absolute anarchy. Rake infiltrates the kidnapper's hideout, and here we see the first display of the film's gun-fu tactical style. It is brutal, efficient, and devoid of wasted movement. Rake moves like a shark through water, dismantling opposition with a terrifying competence. He secures Ovi, a terrified boy who has lived a life of gilded cages, and for a moment, it seems like a standard job. But in the world of black market mercenaries, nothing is ever standard. The betrayal comes not from the enemy, but from the desperate circumstances of Ovi's guardian, Saju. Saju is a fascinating mirror to Rake, a former special forces operator driven not by money or a death wish, but by the desperate need to protect his own family from his employer's wrath. Saju attempts to hijack the rescue to save the ransom money, turning the mission into a three-way war, Rake and Ovi against the entire police force of Dhaka, against the armies of Amir Asif, and against the lethal precision of Saju. It is at this juncture that the film delivers its magnum opus, a sequence that has already cemented itself in the Hall of Fame of action cinema, the Oneer. Masquerading as a single, continuous shot lasting nearly 12 minutes, this sequence is a masterclass in technical filmmaking and stunt coordination. The camera, operated by Hargrave himself strapped to the hood of cars or leaping across rooftops, does not just observe the action, it participates in it. We flow from a frantic car chase where Rake drives with one hand and shoots with the other, to a claustrophobic foot chase through tenement buildings, to a knife fight, and finally to a gun battle on the streets. The camera weaves in and out of windows, tumbles down stairs with the combatants, and creates a sense of immersion that is suffocatingly real. There are no cuts to save the actors, no shaky cam to hide missed punches. It is raw, coherent, and utterly relentless. This sequence serves a narrative purpose beyond spectacle. It binds Rake and Ovi together. In the heat of this forge, amidst the flying debris and the roar of engines, the mercenary and the boy cease to be package and courier. They become survivors clinging to one another. As the adrenaline fades, the film allows us to breathe in the sewers and safe houses of Dhaka, and this is where the emotional core of the movie beats. Rake and Ovi share moments of quiet vulnerability that are essential to the film's impact. Ovi, intelligent and observant, sees through Rake's tough exterior. "You drown not by falling into the river, but by staying submerged in it," he tells Rake, quoting Paulo Coelho. It is a line that pierces Rake's armor. He realizes that he has been staying submerged on purpose. Rake sees his own dead son in Ovi, not literally, but spiritually. He sees a life that can still be saved, a future that hasn't been extinguished yet. This realization shifts Rake's motivation. He is no longer fighting for money, he is fighting for redemption. He decides that even if he cannot save himself, he can save this boy. This shift from mercenary to guardian is subtle, played in Hemsworth's eyes rather than in grand speeches. The antagonist, Amir Asif, is portrayed as a corrupting force of nature. He represents the cycle of violence that consumes the youth of Dhaka. He recruits children, handing them guns and promising them power, turning innocence into cannon fodder. The tragedy of this is personified in a young character named Farhad, a boy desperate to prove his worth to Asif. Farhad's pursuit of Rake is heartbreaking. He is a child playing a man's game, a victim of his environment. Rake's refusal to kill these child soldiers, even when they are shooting at him, adds a layer of morality to his character. He is a killer, yes, but he is not a monster. He understands that these children are just as trapped as Ovi is. The climax of the film converges on a bridge, a classic cinematic threshold. Rake needs to get Ovi across the bridge to safety, to the waiting helicopter of his team. But the bridge is a kill box, blocked by the military and swarming with Asif's forces. Saju and Rake, formerly enemies, form an unspoken alliance. They are two fathers, one grieving, one desperate, fighting for the same child. The action here is apocalyptic. The sound design is deafening, a cacophony of sniper fire, RPGs, and screaming metal. Saju meets his end with the dignity of a warrior, dying to protect the family he loves. Rake, wounded and exhausted, turns the bridge into a graveyard. He is a force of destruction, taking hit after hit, his body failing but his will unyielding. The final confrontation is not with a super soldier, but with the legacy of violence Rake has fought through. As he leans against the railing of the bridge, bloodied and fading, he looks across to see Ovi running to safety. He has succeeded. The mission is complete, but the cycle of violence demands a price. Farhad, the child soldier, emerges from the crowd and shoots Rake in the neck. It is a shocking, tragic moment. Rake does not fight back. He looks at the boy, perhaps seeing the futility of it all, or perhaps finally finding the exit he has been looking for. He falls from the bridge, plunging into the river below. The imagery is potent, the baptism of death. He falls back into the river, but this time, he does not fight to swim. He lets go. It is a moment of peace in a movie defined by chaos. The film's epilogue offers a haunting ambiguity. Ovi is back in Mumbai, safe but scarred, returning to a swimming pool, a motif that opened the film with Rake diving off a cliff. Ovi dives in, holding his breath, submerging himself. When he surfaces, he looks towards the edge of the pool. Out of focus, a figure stands there, watching him. Is it Rake? Has he survived the impossible? Or is he a ghost, a guardian angel manifested by Ovi's trauma and gratitude? The film wisely leaves this open to interpretation. If Rake survived, he is the ultimate survivor. If he died a redeemed man, his ledger finally balanced. Extraction distinguishes itself through its texture. It feels dirty, sweaty, and dangerous. The color palette is saturated with yellows and browns, conveying the oppressive heat of the location. It eschews the clean, high-tech aesthetic of many modern spy thrillers for something more grounded and tactile. The violence has consequences. Bodies do not disappear, wounds bleed, and the heroes do not walk away unscathed. Sam Hargrave, with his background as a stunt coordinator for the Marvel movies, understands that action is storytelling. Every punch thrown tells us something about the character's state of mind. Rake fights differently at the beginning of the movie than he does at the end. In the beginning, he fights with cold detachment. In the end, he fights with desperate passion. Furthermore, the film is a commentary on the expendability of life in the global South in the eyes of Western cinema, yet it subverts this by making the local characters, Saju, Ovi, Nick, fully realized and competent. Saju is not just a sidekick, he is a co-protagonist with his own valid motivations. Nick Khan, played by Golshifteh Farahani, is a woman of lethality and loyalty, stealing every scene she is in, culminating in her cold execution of Amir Asif in the film's Coda, a moment of vengeance that feels incredibly satisfying. Ultimately, Extraction is a story about a man who learns to feel again through the act of protecting another. It posits that salvation is not found in prayer or meditation, but in action, in the bloody, messy, difficult work of saving a life. Tyler Rake begins the film as a ghost haunting the world of the living, and through the fires of Dhaka, he becomes a savior. Whether he lives or dies is secondary to the fact that he lived for something, even if just for a few days. The film is a masterwork of action cinema, raising the bar for choreography and camera work, but its enduring power lies in its simple, human heart, a broken man and a frightened boy, finding solace in the eye of a hurricane. It is a cinematic adrenaline shot that leaves the viewer exhausted, shaken, and strangely moved.